I remember you told me at the time, I don't know if this is still the case, but at the time you were living in a firehouse in Manhattan.
I still live in a firehouse.
Oh my God,
yes.
you live in a firehouse.
Yeah.
You're like Bruce Wayne.
Or like the Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Okay, a
it's
more
not far from the
contemporary reference.
Ghostbuster
Yes,
firehouse.
it's a Ghostbuster. Yeah, you lived in a firehouse, and I thought, I want to go hang with Anderson at his firehouse. I want to go down the whole, I want the whole thing. And nothing happened. None of it happened.
Well, because I'm too shy to reach out to other people. Like I literally it's actually kind of it's been an issue for me. And like I can't ask people for help for something.
I have a bit of that too.
Why.
I don't like to ask a favor.
Yes, I do not. I will do. I'm happy to do a favor for somebody. I do not want to ask somebody for assistance. I couldn't even ask to apply for a TV job. I was a fact checker at a thing called Channel One, which was a show seen in high schools. And I realized I thought, okay, being on air would be better. And I want to be a foreign correspondent. And they didn't really have reporters. It was sort of like the idea initially was like a Today Show for classrooms. It was in half the high schools and middle schools in America in the early 90s. And I was the fact checker. And after 6 months, I was like, oh, you know what? I want to be on air. I couldn't get entry-level jobs at any of the networks or anything. And I realized if I say to them I want to be on air, they're going to say no because I'm, in their mind, the fact checker. And I also, slightly stumble, and I just didn't think I was meant to be on TV. And so I quit my job rather than asking them or even letting them know I have this idea of I'd like to be on camera. I quit my job. I asked the director of the show to make a fake press pass for me. I borrowed a camera that they weren't using, like a small VHS or it was a smaller camera. And I told them, I'm leaving. I'm going to go to wars for the next few months. I'm going to shoot stories. And if you want to see them, you can take a look at them. And if you like them, you could maybe put them on air. It was a very passive aggressive way of getting
right. But what you essentially did is you went to war zones on spec. You said, I'm going to go.
That is absolutely correct.
I'm going to go. Some people build a spec home or write a spec script. You went to war zones and reported on missiles falling all around you on spec.
On spec, yes. That was completely what I did.
Tell me more about this forged press pass. That is really pushing it, Anderson.
I know.
I mean,
it's actually on my wall over here.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, I was working for this. Well, actually, I wasn't. I was doing a spec, but it was a thing. It said Channel One on it, and it had my photo, and it was laminated.
It sounds like something real. When I was a kid, I used to love to pretend to be a reporter if there was a home movie camera going, and I literally would put a card in an old hat that I found, my grandfather's hat, that would say press, and I would jam it in the hat band and go like, all right, I'm here and I'm from the press. This sounds like the same bullshit, only you're Anderson Cooper, and you were pulling it to go to a war zone.
Sorry.
Oh, I love this. You're actually producing, I want to describe now to the audience, you just produced all of your forged documents.
This is the forged one.
Oh my God, it looks legit though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
See, once I had that, then I got this, which is a UN press pass. And once you have a UN press pass, you're golden.
That's fantastic. And it looks to me very easy to duplicate, and that's what I'm going to do.